Kittens is the way to go. And you want to get 2, not 1. 2. Because then they play together. And they're super adorable when they do that. Welcome to the One Player Podcast, the show on solitaire board games. I'm your host, Albert, and this is episode 390.
Ha 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 ha! You've triggered my trap card!
What in the world, Julius?
You're not familiar with that reference? That is a reference to,
Nonsense, right?
Is not a reference, nonsense. That is a reference to Yu-Gi-Oh! It is like one of the famous lines from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay, no, I'm not so familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! That might be the issue there. Yeah. But it's on point, though, because, today we are talking about cards. Not traps, but cards.
That is true.
Specifically, card-only games, right?
We are focused on games where everything is in the cards, or at least it feels like everything is the cards. But the idea is that the cards are the game.
It feels so. I see you got your way out. I got it.
I wanted to make sure because I don't know. You can maybe argue. I don't know. Let's talk about them and see.
Okay. I don't think there's a whole lot to say. This, by the way, listeners, is Popular Mechanics. We do this every 5 episodes. If it ends in a 5 or 0, we do a Popular Mechanics show where we pick a theme, a mechanic, if you will, and we talk about 3 games each that fit that mechanic. And as we said, today's mechanic is games with just cards. Ish.
Well, all right. Just cards was at least the prompt, but I had difficulties.
Really? Okay, I've got 6. I could lend you a few.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, you want to go first?
I'll just argue with yours as bad as mine. Sure, I'll go first. My first one was the one that immediately came to mind. Was For Northwood. For Northwood established a genre that I didn't realize you could do, which is a solo trick-taking game. And in my opinion, I've seen a couple more solo trick-taking games since this one. This one still takes the cake as the best. For Northwood, you are a leader of a set of negotiators trying to negotiate across 8 kingdoms so that all of them shall combine together in the Northwood Alliance. The way you do this is by having a conversation with each of those leaders, and the conversation being a round of cards. You'll play one out, and then you'll draw off the deck at random for what it is that the opposing guy does. As you recruit leaders to your For Northwood, each of those leaders gives you a specific ability that you can use once in the game. Otherwise, you have 4 leaders that are traveling around together with you that you can use for your game. You will continue to play out those tricks, trying to gain as much control as you can of the characters of the successful ones over the course of the game. As you complete them, it'll give you points. So the most difficult ones at the end give you the most points. The easiest ones in the middle give you the least amount of points, and you figure out based on your hand. There's a lot of decision making that goes into it. Like when you look at your hand, you say, do I think I'm set for getting a really good trick? Do I think I'm not set for getting a really good trick and I should go for one of the middle ones? Do I think that maybe one of these characters can help me out? All in all, the art on it is an adorable art style. The cards are really durable. It plays really well. I very much like all of the dynamics of it. The trick-taking style of it plays really well solo. I did not think before this game came out that you could have a good solo trick-taking game. This one, even just randomly throwing one off the deck, because you have so many cards in your deck and because it's almost half that you control, you have a lot of control, you have a lot of ability to see what's coming up. So it becomes a very strategic choice about thinking what it is that you can do. So that is For Northwood.
Yeah, that's a fun game. I like it a lot. The way you have the different core cards that each have a different ability really turn this game into a bit of a puzzle where you're trying to figure out how I can manage to get the right number of tricks to win the round. Mm-hmm. And that's just satisfying, especially when it does work out.
Yeah.
And even even though you're randomly drawing cards from the top of the deck for your opponent, you could still you have a surprising amount of control in this game.
Yeah, a
So it
lot of the
doesn't feel
abilities give
random.
you the ability to throw stuff back into the deck, be able to put stuff on top of the deck. There's a lot of choice you have, like as with many times when you have a boulder rolling down, you have to figure out when the right time is just to nudge it just a little bit. And finding that little nudge you can do to help you score those wins, that is the whole game. And it's really good.
Yeah, and if you want to try it, you could probably play with the standard deck of cards. Uh, just the deck that comes with the game is basically a standard deck with the suits modified to be more thematic, and then king cards, the court cards have text. Now I don't know if the rules are available online to do that. I think they might be, or maybe they were. But regardless, this is a really good game, and yeah, it's definitely a cards only game. It's a good call. I like this one.
And I don't know if you'd have nearly as easy a time just doing it yourself without having the cards for the abilities for the characters that you do. Because each of the characters has those different abilities. Sure, the suits work,
Yeah,
but
you'd have to have a reference sheet or something for that to work out. You're right. It wouldn't be super easy, but you get the idea of it at least. Though, that being said, it's not an expensive game either. It's basically a deck of cards that you're buying, right? A few more cards than that.
well, the
So it's
problem is that it's pretty well out of print. When it's in print, it's
ah,
like $15. So I've seen it going for that, but it goes between print.
got it. Okay, yeah, it's a small publisher. Who is this? Is it a Side Room Games? Yes, Side Room
Yeah.
Games. Okay, good one, Julius. All
Well,
right.
thank you.
I'm gonna give you my first one. It will be a classic. I cannot avoid talking about Onirum. It's one of my favorite games. It is the first game that we did the show on,
Hmm.
the episode one. So this is a game which is a hand management game. You're basically playing cards from your hand to complete sets of three on the line. You're playing cards in a row, and you have to play three cards of the same suit with alternating symbols on them. There's there's four suits and three different symbols. Two of the symbols are pretty common. The third one is rare. And each turn, you're basically playing a card, drawing a card, and that's kind of the whole game. Um, there are some twists to it. There's things that cause you to discard and reshuffle the deck, and you're just trying to manage what you could do with the cards. Nightmare. I don't want to get too much into the details, but when the nightmare cards come up, you get to choose what to do, how you deal with them, which may involve discarding or playing a key card if you happen to have a key card, and or just discarding all the cards in front of you or in your hand, right? So it's a fun game. It's tricky, and it gets better as you add expansions. So the game brings what something like 7 or 8 expansions in the box, and you could mix and match those
Very small
expansions.
expansions, but yes.
Yeah, mini expansions, and you could mix and match them. Add two or three or one to suit your taste or more. Now, one of the expansions does use a meeple, but that's only for that one expansion. You could definitely play the game without ever using the meeple by just ignoring that expansion or ignoring the meeple, I suppose.
Hmm.
Because the meeple is just a placeholder to remind you that you have an action you can do once in the game. Um, the original version when I did the first show did not bring the meeple, and it was only 3 expansions in the box at that point, I think. So definitely back then, if you have
Way
that
back
old
when.
version, yeah, way back. It's going on 15 years. I guess next year will be 15 years. So yeah, Onirim, that's such a neat game and a lot of fun, and definitely cards only.
That counts. That was one of the ones that I was expecting. These are the two, Northwood and Onirim, were the ones I was expected to be on each of our lists. So I wanted to grab for Northwood before it got grabbed.
Oh,
And
sorry.
that's okay. That's, I was expecting it. That's one of the reasons why when we're doing these things, I try and get six so that theoretically, if anything gets grabbed by the other person, it would. And I was expecting some overlap between us today. This is the only one of the Oniverse series that, in my opinion, is cards only. Even though there is some cards in some other ones, the Fire one, um,
Yep. Sylveon. Yep.
Sylveon. Thank you. I think that one has less cards only to it. Maybe you could probably justify it, but also Sylveon is the only one not in my collection, so I definitely would not have personally added it. But
Yeah.
yes, this is another excellent game, and it matches the requirement for card only.
All right. So
So
you have a number two.
I do have a number two. The next one from me is Maiden's Quest.
Oh.
Maiden's Quest is completely cards. The idea of Maiden's Quest is that you are playing with all of your cards in your hand. Each of the cards is basically like four cards because the idea is you start with a deck consisting of some lower level stuff. So like just a tiny little blade, a minor jump, things like that. And as you run through your deck playing a tile in your hand, you'll be able to rotate and then flip and then rotate again those cards to be able to level them up. But along the way, you'll also be encountering enemies that you'll have to be able to defeat with some of the cards in your deck. So you look at an enemy, fan your deck out to see if you have enough to be able to defeat them. If you do, then you successfully defeat them. If you don't, then you take damage and you have to start losing hearts and leveling yourself down and hope that you survive. The idea of the game is that you're going to go through your deck, I think that's 4 times, until you succeed and manage to rescue the prince who is trapped in the tower, which is always a humorous uh, change of sequencing for that. Um, it doesn't take very long to do that. It's entirely play just in hand. One of the reasons why I don't personally play it so much myself is, well, one, the cards, if you play it sleeved, I find it more difficult to hold. And if you play it unsleeved, just because you're holding everything in your hand and moving things around, I find that the cards were getting beat up even more. So I just decided, hey, we'll play it unsleeved and just, console ourselves that the game is going to get pretty well beat up and is pretty well beat up. But also the strain of having to hold all the cards in hand. Frankly, at one point in time, I was like, I just want to play this on a table. And once I'm playing on a table, I'll play a bigger game. So some other
Yeah.
games have come and pushed that one off. For example, Unstoppable is one that has really come and pushed this one off of the frequent plays for me. But nonetheless, I still think that it's a really good game, especially if you're looking for something that you can sit back on the couch and play without needing to go sit on the table. A nice, relaxing, fun, card only in hand game that is Maiden's Quest.
I have never played this one. I saw it recently in my game store in the consignment section. It How many cards is it? Is it small
Um,
deck?
uh, well, you hold a small deck, but the game has a lot of cards that don't come out every
Okay.
single time. There's
Okay.
different maidens that you can play as. There's different princes and different bad guys. So you can make it easier and you can make it harder. So not everything always comes out. Um, it's not supposed to. So it adds some replayability. How many cards? It's 160 cards in the whole game.
That's a lot. I didn't realize it was quite so many.
Yeah, it's got a ton of replayability because of it.
Okay, I think they might already have sold. It's a shame. Maybe I would have tried it.
Aw, you should.
Yeah. Well, there we go. All right. For my number two game, I'm going to pick something a little bit different. I don't think this will be on your list necessarily, Julius, but it could have been. Um, I'm picking an escape room. I'm picking Deckscape. That's a series,
Ah,
not an individual game. Yeah, right. Those are. I thought it'd be fun to have something that plays differently. And Deckscape games are those escape type room games, and they use only cards. I
mm-hmm.
could have talked about the Unlock series that they're also only cards, but then they also require a
It's
phone.
really
That's a little bit of
not
a
right.
stretch. It's it. I could probably get away with it because a phone is it's different. It's not really a component, I suppose, but
Yes, it is.
no
The
need.
app is
There's
very much a
Deckscape.
component of those games. I disagree completely.
Okay, well, and that's why I went with Deckscape. That is definitely just cards. It's a deck of cards, and you're playing through them and as a puzzle. And I believe, I remember, it's been a while since I played any of them, but you kind of draw the cards in order, going from step to step and choosing what to do at each step. And there must be revisiting, yeah, because that's right. Because one of the ones that I remember playing, it's where you go like in the jungles, sort of Indiana Jonesy adventure. You'd split up into three piles and you decide which pile to go tackle first, so you could do them in different orders. But it's an escape room game. It's not as fun as the Unlock series, but they are fun. They're definitely pretty good, and they take about an hour, hour and a half. And because it's a small box game, it's pretty cheap too. I think that's probably about $15, $16 for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's three. Well, I don't know. I think there's more than three. Yeah, there's way more than three or four. Right? There's like eight or
Oh
ten
yeah.
now. Okay. Yeah, I've only played a handful of those. Yeah, I like those. They don't come up too often, but every once in a while I'm in the mood and I'll pull one out. Unfortunately, because it's an escape room, you could only really play it once every 10 or 15 years. So that's my number two.
And I had considered escape rooms, but I had originally gone to Unlock, but even borrowing the app, I had said you so often need a pen and a pencil or something like that for those. And sometimes you need like the rule books and you need the box. So there's a lot of external components that go into solving it. And then there's the other one, exit, the escape room with exit, that you need that little spinny wheel to be able to figure it out. So I had discounted that, but I had not considered Dexscape. I think Dexscape is fully in in the cards, so I just don't have too many of those. I really prefer the unlocks. If I had thought of it,
Hmm.
I probably would have said, "Hey, that's a good inclusion," but I didn't. So well done to you.
All right. So yeah, that's a good one. All right. And your final one, Julius.
So my final one, I was starting to struggle. Uh, I had considered something like Arkham Horror the card game because, after all, it says the card game. One would expect it to be a card game. But our rules were pretty specific and that it had to feel like a lot of it was in the cards. And really, for Arkham Horror, the card game, it doesn't really feel like it's in the cards. It's more that you create a board out of the cards. And you have your person, and he's moving around, he or she or they even is moving around from location to location. It's just that the board is being created from cards, and really it's not that it's a card based game. It's more just that the board has been replaced by a set of cards for additional flexibility. So instead I went with Sky Tier Horde. Sky Tier Horde is essentially playing a Magic the Gathering type game against a automa deck almost. Uh, it doesn't have a board; it has just lanes, and so that just requires the cards in a row. So you arrange your cards in lanes when you're playing them, and then the enemy is going to play his cards into opposing lanes. Your goal is to spend the magic points that you get out of your deck, because every turn you're going to be getting a certain number of magic points from the open magic portal that these demonic beings are coming out of. So you're using those magic points to cast spells and deploy your forces to fight off the evil hordes. And then eventually you'll be able to fight off those hordes until you reveal the big adversary. And if you manage to beat him up, then you win the game. It has a lot of really interesting card play amongst the cards. It really feels very much like a Magic the Card game type game where all of the cards are very unique. They do dynamic things, stuff is moving around, or playing cards to enhance other cards and doing this and that. A lot of different types playing through. Theoretically, you can play the game by actually building decks that are tooled to defeat certain bad guys. That is a level of depth to the game that I personally have not taken, mostly just due to time and the fact that I enjoy just grabbing one of the now 12 decks that I own for the game and just playing through it. And if I lose, I lose. If I win, then hey. But to spend the time to being able to pick out a deck like I would for a competitive card game, it I just don't have the time. I would love to do so. I think that would be a lot of fun to arrange your box that way and to use any of the online card deck builders that they have to be able to build some really neat decks. But it's just not something I've had the time to really spend and do. So instead, I just have any of the pre made built decks, which are still really fun. So that is a very fun game that is played almost entirely with cards. So that is Sky Tier Horde.
Okay, I have not played that one
Oh,
at all.
phew.
I
So I
remember.
can sneak by the fact that
Yeah.
there actually are a couple life counters that you have to put on cards to show, like, if you deal damage. Like, just a couple. Just you
Just
very
a couple.
even when I've even when I play games, normally it's like, oh, I kill him, he goes away. So like you usually don't have them come out,
You don't
but
need. Okay, I will look
yeah.
away. You tell me it's all cards. I believe you, Julius. Um. Yeah. Okay. You're gonna slap your head after I mention this one now. Um.
Okay.
A fun Well, maybe you're going to disagree with me. No, you can't after that last one. Kingdom Legacy. What is it? Legacy Kingdom
Oh, you
Builder
mean the
game.
game with a bunch of stickers? That probably a whole
Yeah.
main thing is the stickers?
And they're not the main thing because you could easily just draw on it. It's basically a card game. It's a
No.
deck of cards. You don't like it? I
I
think that's a fun
considered
game.
it and I rejected it. I thought that was even
Okay,
worse than Sky Tier Horde.
I think that's a fun one. I think it's basically a card game, but I
Because
will
I think for
skip it
Sky
then.
Tier Horde, I can play a game without ever touching the tokens. This one, you
Yeah,
really can't. You have to sticker it as you're playing through.
that's fun. I really almost don't consider the stickers a component. I get that they are, but to me, it's just, oh no, you just put them on the cards. It's still the card. But you know what? We'll skip it. Forget that one. That's not a good one. Star
Okay.
Realms. Star Realms is a card only game. That's a game. That's a deck building game that originally came as just a box. Now there's Star Realms Frontiers, which is a box for 1 to 4 players, and it brings some solo/cooperative challenges you could do. It's all cards. You track your life using cards. It's got little cards that you slide up and down to keep track of how much health you have. This is a deck building game set in space, and there's 4 different, we'll call them suits, different powers, and you're buying cards of the different types to put into your deck to make your deck stronger to hopefully defeat the enemy. Like I said, there's 4 different challenges. There are things like defeat the space amoeba guy or fight the Borg type enemy, and each of the enemies plays a little bit different. It's especially in the solitaire mode, uh, or solo or cooperative. It's sort of a stream type of deck building game where the cards are played onto the table on the tableau, the ones you could buy from, and as you buy cards, they're picked up and other cards are replacing them, and they sort of
Mm-hmm.
flow to the side to power the bad guy. So each round,
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, the card closest to the enemy gets used by the enemy. Each of the enemies has different rules on how he uses it and hurts you. Fun game, fun 2 player game. I played a ton with my son. We haven't played it recently. Probably should get that out and play because that's just it's a fun game. And there's all these little expansions for you. You can buy all sorts of little booster packs to just add more and more and more cards. And at this point, I have
And
giant
they've
boxes. And
and I
they've
mean they've
released a big
rethemed
version.
it to other things and done
They've
other stuff with
rethemed it,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
Yeah.
is it's a fun game. It's simple to play, and yeah, it's just satisfying deck building game. Cards
There's even a
only.
nice little
No,
app version of it too.
that's right. I haven't played that app in years. I used to play that a ton. Oh man, I forgot about that. I have played so much Star Realms in my time. Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah.
No stickers, just space.
I think that's a fair choice. I wish I had thought of that one.
Okay. See, I told you slap your head at some point.
Yeah. I also find it funny that I just now, because it's a game that you own that I don't, I could have also thought of PAX.
Yep, that's on my list. That's a fun one. That's a neat little tableau. What is it? Drafting game.
It's a tableau drafting game, yeah.
Yeah. You're laying out 3 rows of cards, and each turn you're drafting from one of the columns and trying to build your tableau of what is it? Different types of cards, and each of the types of cards at the end scores differently. So you're getting sets, and all the sets not only score differently, but they work differently.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
I
neat
definitely
game.
think
Yeah,
that would have been a valid one to pick, but I didn't think of that.
absolutely. Yep, that's on my list. Also, Oh My Goods. That's another fun one. That's
Mm.
an engine building fun game, but man, that first expansion got so I played that expansion like 30 times just trying to get past the first scenario, and I never did, and I gave up. But it was fun. I kept playing it over and over and over and over because I was just having fun. The process of playing was great. So yeah, there's a few others too, I'm sure, out there. Honorable mention to Button Shy, who who make tons of just card games, and they're all
Oh
18
yeah, I
cards.
didn't include any of those. That would have
Yeah,
been
I
too easy.
that's yes, it is too easy, and but that's worth mentioning him at least, as an honorable mention because they are so many. Not all their games are card only. A few of them like require you to provide your own components.
I don't know,
Twin
like
Stars.
Rove, Skulls of Sedlick.
Oh, those are
Um,
great. Yeah.
yeah, there are so many really good games for Button Shy, but yeah, I legit didn't even think about them because I was more looking for bigger things. These ones, those are
Yep.
like tiny micro games. Like I could have also gone for any of the print and play ones. Yeah, I
Yep.
just those ones I suppose were just too small for me to even really think about them
Yeah.
as the sort of challenge that we were looking for.
Yep. There are a ton of games. You remember Finished or Flea? What was it? Friedman's Freeze Flea?
Yeah, there's
That was
Flea,
a
there's Finished.
Yeah, those are I haven't played those. They were
But
fun playing it.
Finished
So
but
you play it and then move on.
Finish does have other tokens. The same issues that I had
Yes.
with Sky Tier Horde, I would have had to apply for Finished.
Yeah, but Flea didn't. Flea is a sort of a Alice in Wonderland kind of theme, and that didn't even have a rule book. All the rules were on the card, and you just flip the cards one at a time to play the game.
Yeah, I suppose I don't remember.
And the whole game, that's the one game that I can think of that is truly cards only, because every other game has had a rule book at least.
Yeah. Well,
so, but it also suffered from lack of replayability. Actually, that may not have even been solo. It was cooperative. No, it was 1 to 4 players. Yeah, it still is, I suppose.
I don't remember it so well, which probably means that I didn't enjoy it too much.
I remember the cards were in order, and you could not you didn't ever shuffle or rearrange. You just played them in order, and your goal was to get to the end. And different things would happen that you would run out of cards or something you couldn't play, and you'd have to start over. And so you're gonna keep replaying it until you figure out the right order to do all the things. So it was almost a puzzle more than a game because of that, right? It's deterministic, I think. So that may change the number of players. I don't know. It'd be kind of fun to revisit it. I remember enjoying it, and then moving on.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will.
That'll be tricky, but yeah, maybe.
But for today, that, my friend, is it.
All right. Let's cut the deck and no, because you cut it and then you play, and then it means we start over.
Then we're not doing that.
Right.
I think we're just packing it up.
There you go. Pack it up. Okay. All right.
Have
Thank
a great
you,
evening, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We love feedback, so we love hearing from you. You can reach me at julius@oneplayerpodcast.com or JLBird on BGG, and Albert can be reached at albert@oneplayerpodcast.com or Fractalud on BGG. Our website is oneplayerpodcast.com with the number 1, and we're also on Twitter at oneplayerpodcast. The intro music is copyright Angus, can be found at jamendo.com. The transition music is copyright by Dan Elduce Pancaldi, whose page is at donpancaldi.com. The One Player Podcast is protected under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Thanks for listening.